Welcome back students to the next session of English language class. Today we'll be doing the synthesis of sentences. When we are doing synthesis of sentences, they are basically the three kind of sentences which we deal here with. The first one is simple sentence, compound and complex sentence. Before we start, let me put a question. What is a sentence? A sentence is generally a group of words which makes a complete sense, and it complete sense with a verb and a noun. For example, I shot an arrow into the air. The earth revolves around the sun. A sentence is classified when it has a subject and a predicate. A subject is that part of a sentence in which names of the person or thing we are speaking about is mentioned, and a predicate is that part which tells something about the subject. For example, the sun rises in the east. Here, the sun is the subject and rises in the east is the predicate. So now, before we start, I hope by this time you are clear that what is a sentence. We come to the first form, which is a simple sentence. A simple sentence has only one subject and one predicate. In other words, a simple sentence has only one finite verb. Or in other language, we can also say that there is no conjunction when there is a simple sentence. For example, the garden looks beautiful with flowers. Joe waited for the train. I bought my friends some candy. After the game, we went home. So all these are examples of simple sentences. They have independent clause, and in an independent clause we have one set of subject and one set of predicate. Now when we are doing synthesis of sentences, we either combine a sentence to form one simple sentence, or there are simple sentences which are given to you which has to be formed into a simple form. There are various simple sentences which we can combine with different set of usage. The first one we start with is combining two or more simple sentences into a single simple sentence. A simple sentence, we all know, has one finite verb. Thus, while forming a simple sentence, one has to use a finite verb and do away with others. We can combine two or more sentences as follows. In the first part, we use a participle. A participle is that form of a verb which partakes the nature of both a verb and an adjective. Under this, we have the first part. When two actions occur simultaneously, we present participle to join the two sentences. Examples: they went away, they were crying. So when we combine it into a simple sentence, it becomes they went away crying. The second example: she walked out, she was smiling. She walked out smiling. Under the same heading, we have another example. He stood by the table. He was examining some papers. He stood by the table examining some papers. When we see that one action occurs after the other, we use present participle to combine the two sentences. Example: he started early. He arrived there at noon. Starting early, he arrived there at noon. He jumped up. He ran away. Jumping up, he ran away. The thief saw the police. He ran away. Seeing the police, the thief ran away. When we have one action follows the first action, we use perfect participle. I lost my license. I applied for a new one. Having lost my license, I applied for a new one. He finished his work. He went to bed. Having finished his work, he went to bed. And the last one with this is, the guests left. He went to the market. The guests having left, I went to the market. Please note, when you are joining two sentences into one simple present form, you'll be using comma in between while you are joining the two simple sentences. The next form, if one of the two sentences has a passive verb, we use past participle to join them. Under this we have example, I saw few trees. The trees were laden with fruit. So when we join this, it is I saw few trees laden with fruit. His shoes were stolen. He bought a new pair of shoes. His shoes stolen. He bought a new pair of shoes. The child was calmed by a chocolate. The mother continued to read. The child was calmed by a chocolate. The mother continued to read. By using a noun or a phrase in apposition. This is my friend. His name is Ram. This is my friend Ram. Einstein was a great scientist. He made many inventions. Einstein, a great scientist, made many inventions. Chaucer was born in 1340. He is a great English poet. Chaucer, the great English poet, was born in 1340. Now we come to the other forms in which we use a preposition with a noun or a gerund. Before we begin, what is a gerund? A gerund is that form of the verb which ends in ing and has a force of a noun and a verb. Example, swimming, believing, hearing, receiving, etc. Now in this we start with, he is poor, he is honest. In spite of being poor, he is honest. The next example, her husband died, she heard the news, she fainted. On hearing the news of her husband's death, she fainted. She stood on a stool, she reached for the jar on the shelf. Standing on a stool, she reached for the jar on the shelf. The next one is by using adjectives. Marco Polo made many discoveries. The discoveries were wonderful. Marco Polo made many wonderful discoveries. Now we come to the next part. By using adverb or adverbial phrase, the bus was crowded. That was unusual. The bus was unusually crowded. He deserved to succeed. He failed. He failed undeservedly. The sun set. The boys had not finished the game yet. The boys had not finished the game by sunset. The next we use is by using infinitives. He is very fat. He cannot run. He is too fat to run. I have some duties, I must perform them. I have some duties to perform. By using absolute phrase, the police arrived, the crowd disappeared. The police having arrived, the crowd disappeared. The weather was pleasant. We went for a picnic. The weather being pleasant, we went for a picnic. With this, we come end to the discussion of simple sentence. Hope you have understood the various forms of simple sentences when it has to be combined to be formed into a simple sentence. Thank you. Stay home and stay safe.